Hello, and welcome to today's presentation on building and launching a successful API management strategy utilizing the LightWave solutions and implementing an API gateway. My name is Casey Krasner from NuWave Technologies, and we are very happy to have you in our session, and we're excited to talk about the subject. Today, all businesses experience some of the same challenges. One of those is that all of our businesses run on software and information that is on different systems, different applications, and in different languages. Businesses need to offer its valuable data and computing capabilities without revealing the underlying complexity and collaboration that is between countless contributors. These contributors have countless users that need to access the information from everywhere within the enterprise. How do we use this information to provide added value to our customers, which provides our business with an advantage over our competitors? One way that we do this is through the use of APIs, or Application Programming Interfaces. These define available interactions between two pieces of separate and distinct software to request and present services. They do this without the need to know about one another, and this layer of abstraction enables simple execution of extremely complex interactions. For example, consider a restaurant. Customers come to the restaurant and interact with your waitstaff. They order their meal from a menu, have a few drinks, and then enjoy their meal that they ordered. At the end of the meal, they hand their waiter or waitstaff their credit card and go about their day. As a customer, you have no knowledge of how the order was prepared, how the kitchen operates, what supplier provided the food to the restaurant, or any of the hundreds of intricate tasks that happened throughout the restaurant to provide you with your amazing meal. So why are we talking about food? Well, in this example, you can think of the waitstaff and the menu as the API. The menu defines the choices that are available. The waitstaff communicates with all parties involved to deliver the food and then handles the payment at the end. Now we could take this a step further and automate a piece of the process. Imagine a new pop-up restaurant where you want to replace your waitstaff with an Amazon Alexa or any other internet device that is voice-enabled. The customer would voice their order directly to the kitchen. The system would know the ingredients that are required to make that order, pull them from inventory, and have low inventory points where it would order the ingredients directly to the food supplier and identify or send the manager of the restaurant a shopping list at the end of the night that they could approve or deny to order those ingredients. As you can see in this example, the API provides a lot of value to the core business. APIs are growing in the financial, banking, payments, modernization sector, and they have been since 2005. As you can see in the chart, there has been exponential growth within the industry. There are over 12,000 APIs offered by firms today, and these APIs provide services that account for roughly 75% of many large companies' revenue. Salesforce, for example, generates 50% of its revenue through services offered from APIs. eBay is at 60%, and Expedia is generating 90% of its revenue. By implementing an API, it can give you a competitive advantage by connecting to outside services that provide extreme value. For example, Google Maps uses an API to add extreme business value and actually saved the app. When Google Maps first launched, Google did not consider Google Maps to be a core asset because it wasn't being used widely in the industry. They connected through an API to a third-party application that allowed Google Maps to show real estate locations on the map. This caused the app to skyrocket in popularity and become the #1 navigation system used around the globe. APIs can provide extreme business benefits. From a business-to-business collaboration standpoint, businesses tend to create software to solve business problems and perform business tasks. In many cases, especially with the NonStop, the solution that you're looking for already exists with an external piece of software or external data. This may be living in another environment or within your own enterprise. From a customer experience side, an API adds the ability to add value and translate into a superior user experience, providing additional customer satisfaction and support throughout the process. For example, healthcare provider software employs APIs that pull patient data from multiple providers, which present physicians with a fuller patient history, allowing for potential life-saving decisions in just a matter of seconds. And it also provides product and service innovation benefits. Because APIs are typically smaller and easier to update, modify, and maintain than fully developed applications, sometimes this is called microservices, an API will allow you to adapt quickly to changing business needs or new business opportunities with new and enhanced offerings to your customer with potentially no major application changes or legacy changes to those legacy applications that live on the NonStop. So now that we have an idea of the importance and benefits of APIs, I'm sure you have a few projects in your own environment that an API would add value to your team or to your customers or the customer experience. But before we do any of the development of the APIs or the implementing of them all over our environment, we need to put a strategy in place, especially for those that will be integrating into legacy systems that handle our mission-critical data and processing. When putting together an API strategy, we have to ask ourselves a few questions. First, does the API provide features and functionality that the applications or users need? Does the API provide enough authorization and authentication to guard the information that we're accessing, whether that is on the NonStop or somewhere else within the enterprise? How will the API be used? How many calls is the business handling over a specific time frame? Consider day to day, month to month, or even year to year. And then does the API support the overall business strategy? When putting together a formal, detailed API management strategy, it should define the APIs and their features, the roadmaps, an outline of the key elements and systems and teams that the API will integrate with. It should consider security, and it should include documentation. And how does this apply to the NonStop? You may be asking yourself, does your NonStop application need to be a part of the API strategy? And in every situation that we came up with, the answer is yes. As we know, the NonStop has a lot of the enterprise's data that holds extreme value. So when considering this, we have to ask ourselves, are the APIs that we're looking to implement getting information from the NonStop, or is the NonStop getting information from another service or API source? Is there a need to consider breaking up your application into microservices? And do you have the tools in place to develop APIs on the NonStop? We also must ask ourselves, how do we ensure that our data is available and that the NonStop stays relevant as we implement our API strategy or get brought into the enterprise API strategy? To ensure that you have the tools required to successfully launch and develop APIs on the NonStop, NuWave has two solutions or tools for you, one being LightWave Server and one being LightWave Client. Let's dive into LightWave Server. LightWave Server allows you to expose your existing Guardian or Pathway servers as industry standard REST services. These services can be accessed from REST clients running on virtually any computing platform. LightWave Server does this while maintaining the security, reliability, and scalability of your HPE NonStop servers and applications. Let's look at a few examples. So, accessing NonStop from an IoT device. Yes, this is possible. So by using a voice-enabled device, a customer could request an update from their inventory of their current inventory levels on a particular item with the information that's living on the HPE NonStop. LightWave Server would pass the request from the Alexa to the NonStop, receive the inventory levels, and then voice them back to the user. We have a full demo of this use case on our YouTube channel showing the interaction if you would like to see that. Another example of LightWave Server is connecting to a CRM or a software as a service. A major distribution company uses LightWave Server to integrate their NonStop application with Salesforce. The company's customer service reps use Salesforce to log customer issues. When an issue is logged in the customer service system, Salesforce sends a REST-based query through LightWave Server to the company's NonStop application to update the application. And LightWave Client. LightWave Client allows applications running on NonStop servers to securely access REST web services anywhere on any platform or any operating system within the enterprise. It does this and leverages the business services on the enterprise or on global networks. Let's dive into a few examples. Ultimate is another provider of private REST-based web services. In this case, providing a range of human resource solutions. When HR data is required, the NonStop application sends a request containing a date range via LightWave Client, who invokes the relevant REST service to retrieve the data from Ultimate. The data is returned back from the application when LightWave Client receives the information from Ultimate service. Another example is that we have a large distribution company using LightWave Client to access a private web service from Decisive. They use this to track their trucks in their extensive delivery fleet. When details of a vehicle are required, the NonStop application sends a REST request via LightWave Client to Decisive. Decisive returns the relevant vehicle information back to LightWave Client, which sends it back to the NonStop application. Now that we've covered the two tools that would develop your APIs and allow you to connect to those REST services throughout your enterprise, you might be asking yourself, what's next? The next thing that we must look at when implementing our API strategy is an API gateway. An API gateway is a software functionality that sits in front of one or more APIs, potentially all of your APIs. It provides a single point of entry to those backend APIs and services, and a gateway acts as a protector enforcing security and ensuring scalability and high availability. To put it simple, the gateway takes all API requests from a client, determines which services are needed to fulfill the request, combines the necessary calls to one or more backend services into a unified, seamless experience for the client. There are many benefits to an API gateway, but let's just cover a few. One is preventing exposing internal concerns to external clients. An API gateway separates external public APIs from internal service APIs, allowing for services to be added and boundaries to be changed. The result is the ability to refactor and resize your services over time without negatively impacting externally bound clients and providing a single point of entry for all of your services. As I mentioned, the gateway also adds an additional layer of security to your services. An API gateway helps to prevent malicious attacks such as a DOS attack by providing limitations to all calls that pass through it. While external-facing APIs commonly offer an HTTP or a REST-based API, internal services may benefit from using different communication protocols. Protocols may include SOAP, JSON, or XML. An API gateway can provide an external, unified REST-based API across the various protocols, allowing teams to choose the best fit for their internal architecture. And it can also decrease your service complexity. Services have common concerns, such as authentication, using API tokens, access control enforcement, and rate limiting. Each of those concerns can add more time to development of services by requiring that each service implement them individually. An API gateway can provide all of those services for every item that passes through it. So let's take a look at what most environments look like now without a gateway involved. You have your client services, and you have your backend server, which houses a bunch of services. And this can be one or more servers. And right now you have a one-to-one connection from each front-end client calling to a back-end service. This can create a very complex environment. So let's take a look at what this looks like in a banking environment. We have a mobile, web, and ATM client, and each one of these need to access services from the back end, either on one server or multiple servers. And right now those APIs are still showing that one-to-one connection. If any of those back-end services get changed, it may require a lot of code and some updates to the API for the front end to work. By implementing a gateway, we create a single point of entry for all communication between the front-end clients and the back-end services. We've added a layer of security, and we've made life a lot easier for our developers, as they will no longer need to update the APIs for services because of minor changes made to the back end. As shown in the example on the previous slide, there are many benefits to using the API gateway. One is the single point of entry. Another is DOS protection and security. We do this through rate limiting, connection count limiting, request size limiting, and IP address restrictions. It also allows for canary or A/B deployment. It allows for load balancing. The software will actually automatically distribute incoming requests over multiple upstream services to evenly share the load. And it'll provide authentication options to fit your needs. Those authentication options may be HTTP-based authentication, API tokens, or JWT authentication for those that need a more comprehensive authentication solution. We now know the questions that we need to ask ourselves before considering adding an API into our enterprise. And we have the tools to develop and manage our APIs while maintaining a high level of security with our mission-critical data. So let's take a look at your complete strategy. First, we must identify our needs. Can you streamline a business process by sharing data that lives on the NonStop, or by receiving data from another source in the enterprise? Is there data that currently lives on the NonStop that could be shared to bring added value to your business? We must consider our infrastructure. What data is being exposed or consumed? Where is it located? And what systems and teams will need to be involved to be successful in your API deployment? Have the tools in place to be successful. Utilize the NuWave solutions to ensure your team has the tools to develop and manage your APIs. This will ensure a smooth implementation across the enterprise. Implement a gateway. Simplify the connections between your front-end and back-end services by creating a single point of entry for your APIs while ensuring that the data and systems are protected. And we strongly suggest that you start small. By starting small, you will limit your risk and increase your chances for success. Consider breaking up those large applications and large services into microservices to help you be more successful. This will also shorten the life cycle for your development. Next, we want to manage and repeat. Once you have been successful with your smaller API implementation, you can repeat the process on a larger scale with a process that you know was successful. Your boss will appreciate this. Thank you for your time, and we look forward to working with you to build an API strategy and ensure that it is successful. For more information, please email me or visit our website. We look forward to speaking with you and seeing everyone in person soon. Have a great day.